James.
So it's actually it's quite serious stuff, isn't it? Because you are part of the body that keeps the public safe from people who I was going to say have made mistakes. Now, your job is to see whether people have made mistakes, or whether, I'm trying to find a better way of putting this, whether they're just shit. There's probably a better way of putting it, but whether people have been negligent.
No, that's actually not the role of a regulator. So
Right.
negligence is generally something that your professional indemnity insurer will become involved in. So most regulators are not interested in negligence. Negligence is basically performing below the standard considered to be acceptable or representative of an averagely competent person. And the threshold for that is relatively low, and it tends to be decided in a civil context. So you take someone to court and you sue them, basically. Professional regulation is far more serious, because that tends to involve breaches either of professional standards or of professional conduct that are far below the standard expected. So it is a pretty serious matter, because when you get to the point where there's a disciplinary committee involved or a tribunal, then that's normally the point where your registration and your professional livelihood is at stake, if you're found to be wanting badly enough. So
these really are people who've been pretty bad, pretty slept on.
Generally speaking. I mean, the thing is that there are a number of stages, depending on the regulator you work for. There's a number of stages to the process, which are supposed to sift out the things that are negligence and a matter for the civil courts, or they are something that can be dealt with at an early stage in the process, such as giving a warning or some sort of fixed penalty. If you're talking about accountancy, for example, they use fines quite a lot in accountancy. That doesn't apply to the medical professions. And then you get on to putting restrictions on the type of practice that people can undertake. So what we call conditions of practice for the NMC, or performance protocol for the RCVS, or sending someone for remedial training. And then you're up to the level of suspensions or striking off order, which is obviously the ultimate sanction.
You must hear some horrific stories. I mean, I guess there are often extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, there are cases that are very sad, and fortunately the regulators, almost without exception, have protocols in place to help people, of course, and particularly pertinent considering the current climate, and very pertinent considering this particular webinar or podcast or webcast is drug abuse and mental health conditions. So sometimes,
yes.
So sometimes you do tend to tea.
What?
Mike looked like he had a mug of tea.
Navy strength rum, mate.
Oh, it's Navy strength rum. Okay, that's fine. I was worried for a moment. Yeah. So yeah, in the instances where someone has there's been a lapse in standards because of a health or condition, and by health that's both physical health and mental health. Most of the regulators can refer those individuals to mechanisms to try and support them and help them return to safe practice, because no regulator really is out to, if you like, get the professional. There is a very strong need for qualified, competent professionals, and the aim is to make sure that the bad apples are removed from the system, to make sure that the rest of us can do our job properly. Because if we're not trusted, then we can't work, and we can't engage our clients, and we can't get a meaningful working relationship with them.